exact location of closed loop poles, and it is a graphical method, and it will also help. It is the effective method in finding the system parameter effect. Effective method in finding the system parameter effect on the system. So if you see, the first thing is root locus will not provide exact location of roots. It is a graphical method. It is the path traced by the roots of characteristic equation. How the roots of characteristic equation travel. That path is nothing but root locus. And the system parameter or the open loop gain is k, and the value of k will vary from 0 to infinity. How the roots will travel when k value varies from 0 to infinity. That is the definition of root locus. Okay, so the definition of root locus is, as k varies from 0 to infinite, how the roots of characteristic equation travel, or how the path of root locus, how the path of the roots of characteristic equation. Okay, so this is the basic definition of root locus. And this method is a powerful method. It tells the system parameter, how it will affect the system. Okay, variation of system parameter on the location of closed loop poles. This is a graphical method which will tell the variation of the system parameter, which is nothing but k value, based on the location of the closed loop poles. Next, it is also, we can also observe the path of the closed loop poles, that is called root locus diagram. We can just observe the path of closed loop poles, that is called root locus diagram. And in this technique, we will use open loop transfer function, but we will tell the stability of closed loop system, stability of closed loop control system. Okay, we will use open loop transfer function, and we will decide the stability of closed loop system. If you remember, if you take unity feedback, then h of s equal to 1, h of s equal to 1. And if g of s equal to k into s plus 2 divided by s plus 1 into s plus 4. This I am taking as an example. This is an example for open loop transfer function. Because h of s is 1, this is same as g of s h of s. This is same as g of s h of s. And if I calculate the closed loop transfer function, because g of s is available, if I calculate the closed loop transfer function, it is nothing but g of s divided by 1 plus g of s h of s. G of s divided by 1 plus g of s. Closed loop poles means the denominator. Okay. Denominator of closed loop transfer function is nothing but characteristic equation, or the poles of closed loop transfer function, denominator only will give, and the roots of characteristic equation, this denominator only will give the roots of characteristic equation. Okay. So what we are trying to tell, we are using open loop transfer function. We are using open loop transfer function. Thereby, we are deriving the closed loop poles, and then we are analyzing the stability of closed loop control system. Okay, we are having open loop transfer function. This is open loop transfer function g of s. We are converting it into closed loop. Then based on the roots of characteristic equation, we will tell stability of the closed loop system. That is the procedure. And the path of the closed loop poles. Okay, how the denominator roots or poles, okay, how the location is there, that we will analyze. That is called path of the closed loop poles. Okay. And one more thing I want to tell, the k value. When the k value varies, you can see the fourth point. You can see the fourth point. Variation of system parameter. System parameter or k value is one and the same. And k value will vary from 0 to infinity. Generally, you have root locus, two different types. Okay. One is k equal to 0 to infinite. On the other side, k equal to minus infinite to 0. Okay. That is inverse root locus. Forward direction root locus is k value varies from 0 to infinite. Inverse root locus means on the other side, 0 to minus infinite. Okay. That is also there. But in our syllabus, we will deal only with k value 0 to infinite. This is very, very important. K value 0 to infinite. Okay. Based on that, we will analyze the root locus. And this is about the k value. I told you the closed loop transfer function here, g of s by 1 plus g of s h of s. Okay. In that, when you put k equal to 0, when you put k equal to 0, the open loop poles and closed loop poles will become same. Okay. How? we had in the previous diagram k into s plus 2 by s plus 1 into s plus 4. This is our k into s plus 2 by s plus 1 into s plus 4. This is our open loop transfer function. When you calculate closed loop transfer function, what will happen? This is open loop transfer function. When we calculate closed loop transfer function, simplify, and then we will get like this, s plus 4 plus k into s plus 2 after fully simplified. Okay. Now you try to put k equal to 0, k equal to infinite. Then we can understand what they mean. If for k equal to 0, this second term will become 0. Second term will become 0. So you can see this is open loop poles. Okay, open loop poles. And this is closed loop poles. Denominator second term is 0. Closed loop poles. They are equal. Okay, they are equal. Open loop poles and closed loop poles are equal when you are putting k equal to 0. Similarly, when we put k equal to infinite, closed loop poles and open loop zeros will be equal. Closed loop poles and open loop zeros will be equal. Okay. So when you put k equal to 0, then open loop poles equal to closed loop poles. Okay. When you put k equal to infinite, what happened? First term will become 0. Okay. This first term will be 0. If k equal to infinite. Then what happens? K into s plus 2 will be there. That is the denominator. Okay. So k into s plus 2 will be there. That is the denominator of closed loop transfer function, which means these are the poles of closed loop transfer function. And you can check that with the open loop. Numerator in the open loop, we are having the same thing. Okay, this is open loop zeros. Hence, we are telling open loop zeros and closed loop poles are equal when you are putting k equal to infinite. Okay, when you are putting k equal to infinite, this is what happens. The first term will become 0 in equation 2. This is equation 2, our closed loop transfer function. This is equation 1, open loop transfer function. Whenever you put k equal to infinite, denominator first term will become 0 in the equation 2. So only second term will be there in the denominator, and that is nothing but poles of closed loop transfer function. You can compare that with equation 1, that is equal to the numerator in equation 1. So numerator in equation 1 is open loop zeros. Okay, this is the explanation. I have taken an example. Okay, this is my example g of s. I have taken example and I have explained the entire thing. Okay, g of s, I have taken example, explained the entire things. The same thing is there. The same thing is here, more detailed explanation. Now, already we know that when open loop transfer function is g of s, okay, unity feedback means h of s equal to 1, and closed loop transfer function means g of s by 1 plus g of s h of s. Okay, we are mainly dealing with the characteristic equation. Characteristic equation means denominator of closed loop transfer function is nothing but characteristic equation. Okay, and now if you see, we are considering that characteristic equation. I am giving equation number 3. We are taking the denominator of, okay, closed loop transfer function, equation 3, and we are trying to calculate angle criteria and magnitude criteria. Magnitude criteria. And from equation 3, if you make g of s, h of s subject, that plus 1 will go to the other side, it will become minus 1. If you make magnitude, okay, minus 1 means it is real part. So no imaginary part. So I can write minus 1 plus j0. Okay, in equation 3a, right side, minus 1 is there. Minus 1 is a real part. Imaginary part, j term is not present. So I can just write it plus j0. Okay. Now if I make, this is my equation 3b. Now make magnitude for equation 3b. Okay, magnitude for equation 3b. On both sides, if you make magnitude for equation 3b, left side it will be modulus g of s h of s, right side it will be modulus minus 1 plus j0. When you make a plus jb magnitude, it is square root of a square plus b square. Here we have magnitude of minus 1 plus j0. square root of 1 square plus 0 square, which is 1 here. Okay, which is 1 here. Like this, it is calculated. And this is about magnitude criteria. We are making modulus, so it is called magnitude criteria. Now, the same denominator we will take, okay. In terms of angle, if you see a plus jb, or I will go with equation 3. I will rewrite the equation 3 here, okay. 1 plus g of s h of s equal to 0. This is equation 3. If I am making g of s h of s, it is equal to minus 1. Okay, this is 3a we had in the previous slide. Now, how to calculate angle? If a plus jb is there, angle is tan inverse imaginary by real. If 1 by a plus jb is there, it is minus tan inverse imaginary part by real part. Okay, this is the formula for calculating angle. Now what we have, according to equation 3b, you can see that minus 1, what we have written, minus 1 plus j0. So I am taking equation 3b. Okay, equation 3b, I am taking g of s h of s equal to minus 1 plus j0. Real part is there, imaginary part is there. Now if you make angle criteria, g of s h of s, then it is numerator factor, so plus tan inverse imaginary part by real part. Okay, imaginary part by real part. And it is also taken as plus or minus 180 degree. Like this, we are calculating the magnitude angle criteria. Like this, we are calculating the angle criteria. Okay. Like this, we calculate angle criteria, and this is equation number, what I will do, this is equation number 4. I will take angle criteria as equation number 4. I will take angle criteria as equation number 4. Okay, just here I'm not matching properly. So all the other formulas are correct. We are deriving, there is some background derivation. That's why I'm erasing this, not to confuse you with too many things. There is background derivation for getting this equation 4. And it is using the formula what I have written by the side, a plus jb, a minus jb. These formulas are there. These two formulas for taking the angle. Okay. So equation 4, it is having some background derivation. This is the angle criteria. And this is used to identify any point present on the root locus. Okay. Minus 1 plus j0 point can be traced with an angle plus or minus 180, plus or minus 540, plus or minus 900, like that. So all these are multiples of 180. All these are multiples of, odd multiples of 180. This is 3 into 180, 540. This is 5 into 180, 900, like that. So what we are writing, 2q plus 1. This is odd multiple. 2q means even multiple. 2q plus 1 is nothing but odd multiple of 180 degrees. Odd multiple of 180 degrees. Okay, it's nothing but angle criteria. And this is equation 4a. 4 and 4a, one and the same. 4 and 4a, one and the same. Wherever required, we will directly use 180. Wherever the multiples of 180 occur, then we will use 4a, which is plus or minus 2q plus 1, 180 degrees. Now the q value can be an integer. Sequentially, the integer will go sequentially. First you have to substitute 0, then it will be 180. When you substitute 1, it becomes 3 into 180, 540. When you substitute q value 2, then it becomes 2 into 2, 4, plus 1 is 5, 5 into 180 is 900. Like that, it will go with the multiples of 180 degrees. Okay. Why we are using magnitude criteria and angle criteria? Magnitude criteria is to check what is the system gain value, k value. Okay, you have seen the transfer function. Wherever we take transfer function, generally we will have this k value. That k is nothing but open loop gain. What is the k value at any point on root locus? To find this, we are applying the magnitude criteria. Phase angle criteria, to calculate any given point, not k value, but any given point, whether it lies on root locus or not. Any given point, whether it lies on root locus or not. To find these things, we are going with angle criteria and magnitude criteria. Okay.